Welcome to Siena College of Taytay. We are a Catholic higher education institution located at E. Rodriguez Avenue, Barangay San Isidro, Taytay, Rizal. In response to an invitation by the Archbishop of Manila, His Eminence Cardinal Rufino Santos, Siena College of Taytay, formerly St. Catherine Academy, was opened in June 1957 and since then has been continuously providing quality education rooted on Catholic values. As a member of the Siena school system, Siena College of Taytay commits to the evangelizing mission of the Church for integral faith formation that promotes academic proficiency and values lived by Venerable Mother Francisca del Espiritu Santo de Fuentes. By 2026, we envision our school to be an institution of excellence in Region 4A. Siena College of Taytay is headed by Sister Caroline S. Capili OP, with a formidable team of highly qualified and competent academic heads. Sister Myra Kailan OP, College Dean, College of Education, College of Nursing, College of Engineering and Information Technology, College of Business and Accountancy, College of Hospitality Tourism and Culinary Management. Bachelor of Science in Hospitality Management is Level 3 PAASPO accredited. The program courses are housed in Saint-Jacques International, Centre de Formation, Hôtellerie et Restauration, a training hotel with complete specialized laboratories, 4 specialized kitchens, a Bill Cafe, Chichi Bar, 14 standard rooms, 3 function halls, each with a sitting capacity of 100, 150, and 200. Satellite library. All the laboratories are furnished with industry-grade equipment used by highly qualified faculty members to provide students with real hospitality work environment. Siena College of Taytay provides academic proficiency through its faculty members who are provided with opportunities to continuously advance their professional development. Currently, it is staffed with faculty members with the following qualifications: 31 with master's degrees and 13 with doctorate degrees, 31 licensed professionals and 18 industry experts, and both facilities that provide an environment conducive for learning and personal development. At Siena College of Taytay, we are committed to our mission of producing competent professionals who are locally and globally competitive. We continuously strive to improve, to advance, to evolve, moving our way assuredly to the pinnacle of excellence.
everyone, and blessed be God forever. I hope that this is a good day. It's a good morning to each and every one of us. I would like to welcome you all to the first day of our 2-day program for the Philippine Innovation Month. For today's topic, we have the Innovation Roundtable, Innovations on Mental Health in School Setting. And to begin with, let us have our opening prayer to be led by Althea Bianca Cerato, grade 10 student of Siena College of Taytay, and to be followed by the singing of the Philippine National Anthem.
Let us all be aware of God's loving presence as we say, in the name of the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit. Amen. Almighty and loving Father, we thank you for this precious time that you've given to us and for providing us with the opportunity to participate and gather in this wonderful event. Bless everyone who is present here today and send us your Holy Spirit to be our guide. Give us the wisdom to understand every topic that we are going to talk about today. Enlighten our minds and let your love be our focus. May you bestow your guidance and blessings on this event so that we can appreciate its significance and importance. May this event be a step towards our mission here in our world and to the innovations in students' mental health. All this we pray through our Lord Jesus Christ, your Son, who lives and reigns with you in the unity of the Holy Spirit, one God, forever and ever. Amen. Our Lady of the Holy Rosary, pray for us. In the name of the Father, Son, the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Ang pambansang awit ng Pilipinas.
Bayang madilim, pelas ng silanganan, alam ng puso, sa dibdib mo'y buhay. Lupang hinirang, duyan ka ng matitig, sa manlulupi, di ka pasisihin, sa dagat at bundok, sa simoy at sa langit mong butaw, may nilagang tula at awit sa paglayang minamahal, ang kislat ng watawat mo'y tagumpay na nagdidinig, ang bituin at araw niya kailan pa may di magdidinig, lupa ng araw ng walhati pagsinta, buhay ay langit sa piling mo. Aming ligaya na pag may mga api, ang mamatay ng dahil sa'yo.
Thank you, Althea, for leading our opening prayer. Again, good morning, everyone, and blessed be God forever. I hope that everyone is safe and sound at the comfort of their homes while tuning in this event that we have for today. It's been a year since we have the BCYF here in China College of Taytay. Last year, we had a 4-day event. We had innovation in youth leadership, innovation in education, Philippine Business Congress, and coaching and teaching. Again, for today, our topic is Innovation Roundtable, Innovations and Mental Health in School Setting. And without further ado, let's start our program for today. For our first speaker for the opening remarks, may I call on Mr. Tony Yap, the chairman of BCYF, Benita and Catalino Yap Foundation.
Thank you very much. Good morning to everyone. Good morning, dear boys and girls in the high school and in the college. First, I'd like to thank Siena, Dr. Malu Punay, for Sister Carol, Sister Myra, and the rest of your team for organizing this event. I know that everyone is busy, so it takes effort to prepare for an event like this. I would like to also thank Senator TG for joining us. He is the chairman of the 2022 Innovation Month, and I know that he will have many things to share with you. As I welcome you to this event, I remember, I remember having discussions years ago with Secretary Boy de la Peña. I guess it was, I don't know, 7, 8 or 9 years ago, when we were discussing what can we do in order to ensure that innovation takes centerpiece. As you know, at BCYF, our advocacy is CSR 3.0, or personal social responsibility, which to us is based on faith and values, innovation, and a commitment to a societal dimension to any business activity. A few days ago, we had the third ICE conference at Central Philippine University in Iloilo. This is the Innovation plus CSR plus Entrepreneurship equals Social Enterprise Conference. Together with our attempt to persuade schools to be social change agents, events like what we're having now, especially those targeting students in the basic education and in the tertiary level, we in effect are really preparing and are accepting the reality that more than 60%, some say 70%, of the population of over 110 million of this country are young people. So when Secretary Boy and I were discussing, we said, "So what can we do? What do we do?" And I said, "Well, maybe we can have an innovation week, which now has become the innovation month." Uh, at the request of Malacanang, this was launched in Malacanang about 6 years ago, and a presidential proclamation was done. That is nice. But what is even nicer is when a school like the Siena schools and your administrators and management like Dr. Malu Punay take on this idea and then find a way to make it a reality so that students and faculty members can participate in what should be a daily occurrence. When we wake up, we want to do more exercise. We want to have a clearer mind. We want to eat well, but not too much at night so we can have a good night's sleep. We want to look at everything we do with the new perspective, thanking God for the chance to have another day. This is innovation at its most basic. I was telling our friends and our colleagues and our students from Northern Luzon last Sunday that to me, innovation requires a change in mindset, a change in perspective, a change in the way we look at things. That is the most important step that faculty members and administrators and student leaders must commit themselves to do. So that as we begin to look at things in a different way, to accept those that look okay, that are consistent with our values, with our faith, with where we want to be, we are open to new ideas, new ways of doing things. I am hoping that today's event will further this objective of encouraging young people to really participate in nation building. Last year, under our CSR Youth Awards, for the first time, we had an awardee from high school. Think about it. There are many professionals, many people doing many things because the age limit is 40 years old for the CSR Youth Awards of BCYF. And now that we are on our, what is it now, 8th year, I think, or 9th year, we launched it 10 years ago with Deloitte. The important thing is that an awardee came from high school, grade 12, and his name is Gab Cruz. And I persuaded him to accept a scholarship at De La Salle on engineering. He's now a first year student at De La Salle TAF. But the important thing is that he and his team created a project which extracts protein from eggshells, chicken eggshells, and somehow creates a plastic that is biodegradable, which replaces packaging material in supermarkets and other stores. It is now being commercialized. It is undergoing testing. It is undergoing piloting. They have won the award in ASEAN for the most innovative new technology. They have won an award in the US. So I encourage all our young people here not to worry about whether you're young or old, but to say, if Gab can do it, Gabriel Cruz, Gab, if Gab can do it, I can do it also. I can create something that will make our lives so much better. So, welcome to this exciting 2 days, and I look forward, like you, to hearing and participating in the coming discussions. Thank you again, Siena. Thank you, Malu. Thank you, TG. Thank you to everyone involved in this effort. Magandang umaga po.
Thank you, Mr. Yap. That is very delightful to hear for all of us. Your words of encouragement, not only for the students, but also to the young generation like us, their educators. Again, from Innovation Week to Innovation Month, making this a reality to the students and to the faculty. Again, we should be open to new ideas and to new ways of doing things. Again, thank you so much, Mr. Tony Yap. Of course, we have another person to welcome us in this event. Let me welcome former Senator Sofisto Gingona III, the chairman of the Philippine Innovation Month for this year, 2022.
Oh, thank you, Madam Moderator. First of all, let me greet our chairman, the chairman of the Benita and Catalino Yap Foundation, Bcyf for short, Mr. Tony Yap, whom you just heard give his welcome remarks. Our executive director, Mr. Noor Laminero, and of course the officers of Siena College Taytay, headed by its president, Sister Caroline Capili, OP, Sister Myra Kailan, the Dean of the College, Mr. Gian Carlo, Principal of Basic Education, at si Professor Lutgarda Punay, ang chairperson ng College of Business. Sa mga estudyante, faculty, staff ng Siena College of Taytay, magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat. Ang pag-uusapan ngayon ay innovations in mental health. Nako, napaka-importante nito ngayon, panahon ng pandemya. Lalong-lalo na yung mental health. Nagkaroon ng importansya sapagkat ang dami-daming, ako mismo, ang dami kong kilalang na-depress noong panahon sa lockdown. Talaga naman nakaka-depress eh. At importante na malaman natin kung paano tayo maka-cope or paano tayo maka-adjust sa pagbabago na yan. You know, they say that there are only two things in life that are certain. One is death and the other is change. With death, lahat tayo mamamatay. Unless, of course, your name is Lazarus, but that's a different story. You cannot do anything about death. It will come sooner or later. The other is change. That you can do something about. The answer to change is innovation. Innovation means a new way of doing something, inventing something new, a new process of doing something. Bagong pananaw, bagong definisyon, bagong pag-unawa sa isang bagay, sa isang idea, sa isang bagay. And I think we can see first, let's see what happened in history, no? Do you know, my friends, that in the 15th century, the early 15th century, the superpower of the world was China. They were the leader in science, agriculture, and engineering. They were casting iron in 200 BC, 1,500 years before the Europeans were doing it. 1,500 years, ang laki ng pagitan. So they were the leaders in technology, in science, engineering, even culture. Then one day, their leader said, alam mo, okay na tayo. Huwag na tayo magpapasok ng mga ideas na bago. Huwag na tayo mag-innovate. Huwag na tayo gumawa ng bagong bagay. Sakto na to. Ayos na tayo. So they closed their borders. They did not bring in new ideas. They stopped trade. Long sea voyages, wala na. Wala nang trade. Ayos na tayo. And so their society stagnated. Their society stagnated. Their culture then became primitive by European standards. The Europeans, on the other hand, got the inventions of the Chinese. The Chinese invented gunpowder. The Europeans innovated on gunpowder. They put it into dynamite, which they used for mining, for warfare. And the European powers innovated on the Chinese inventions. And eventually the European powers became stronger, mightier, and one day occupied and colonized China. Until one day, China had this superstar leader called Deng Xiaoping, who said, tama na, dapat magising na tayo, dapat lumabas na tayo sa mundo, let's get the new ideas of this world, let's get the new inventions, let's bring it in, and let's innovate, let's improve on these ideas. And because China opened up again, because China innovated again, you know where China is today. I understand you have a college of nursing dyan sa Siena College of Taytay. Let's do something real. Let me give you a relevant example. For example, in the 1800s, there was this scourge disease called puerperal disease or childbed disease. Whenever mothers would give birth, this was in the 1800s and was prevalent in the United States. Whenever mothers would give birth, either the baby would die, the mother would die, or sometimes the mother and the baby and the doctor would die. So they were wondering, ano ba nangyayari? Ba't namamatay? And there was this doctor called Oliver Wendell Holmes who investigated it. And he noticed that in the morning, the doctors did autopsies, and then in the afternoon, the doctors tendered to the mothers who were giving birth. And so he theorized that this is a disease that is passed on from patient to patient through the doctor. And so he made a very innovative idea, revolutionary idea. He said, because it is passed on from patient to patient through the doctor, I think it's time we impose what we call sanitation, hygiene, sterilization. Doctors, sabi niya, doctors must wash your hands. Doctors must change their clothes. After tending from one patient, before tending to another patient, change your clothes. Bed sheets should be changed whenever there is a new patient that will come in and use the bed. Instruments should be sterilized. He used the word purified. Instruments should be sterilized before they be used on another person. So you're telling me now, my friends, you might say, ano? Hygiene, sanitation, sterilized instrument? Ano ba? Anong innovation yan? Common sense lang yan. Well, yes, it is common sense today, 2022. And it is the standard for all medicine, for all hospitals. Sanitation, hygiene, sterilization of instruments. But in the 1800s, wala yun. That was a concept that was not understood nor existed at that time. Doctors did not wash their hands. They did not change their clothes. Kaya nagkahawaan Kaya namamatay. Pati doktor, pati yung doktor namamatay. So sabi ni Dr. Oliver Wendell Holmes, let's innovate, let's sanitize, hygiene, and sterilize. And truth to tell, whenever there is change, it's hard for people to accept changes. And when Oliver Wendell Holmes made that innovative, at that time, revolutionary idea, people were laughing at him. Doctors were laughing at him. The medical establishment did not accept him. It took a few years before the medical establishment finally said, oh nga, mukhang tama nga pala si Oliver Wendell Holmes. So today, puerperal fever is a thing of the past. But you know, my friends, the most important innovation, because usually innovation is identified with technology, science, gadgets. Yeah, that's true. Innovation is important in those aspects. But you know, the most important innovation, yung innovation na sinabi ng aming chairman, si Mr. Tony Yap, the innovation that comes from within the person. Let me give you a concrete example. In the 1500s, 1600s, 1700s, slavery was legal, slavery was considered moral, and slavery was the present order of society. Until somebody floated the idea and said, all men are created equal. Again, you'll say, all men are created equal? What's the innovation there? What's the innovation there? It's so common sense. Yes, now. But at that time, in the 15th, 16th, 17th century, it was not common sense. In fact, I remember reading people were laughing at it. People were saying, in Europe, they were saying, I will not consider another man because of the color of his skin, a human being. Because of the color of his skin, a person is to be considered property, to be enslaved, exploited, and traded like a piece of furniture. Isipin mo. But because somebody floated that idea that all men are created equal, we know today that slavery is a thing of the past. And so the most important innovation is the innovation from within. It makes us more human. It makes us closer to the image of God. In Genesis, we are told that God created man in his image. And innovation makes us undo the wrongs that we do with our fellow men because of ignorance, prejudice, discrimination. Innovation with faith makes us more human. Innovation with faith makes us closer to the image of our Creator. Imago Dei. Magandang umaga sa inyo, and let's all continue to innovate. Thank you.
Thank you so much, former Senator Gengona. Truly, this topic is special and relatable in this time of pandemic, especially we know people who have experienced depression. He had mentioned also of the two certain things in life, death and change. One is uncontrollable. However, the other, we could change something about it, and that would be the innovation part. And he mentioned also that innovation is identified with science, technology, gadgets. However, the most important is the innovation that comes from within. Again, thank you so much, Mr. Tony Yap and former Senator Gingona. I know that our students as well as our FB Live viewers are all excited for today. So let's start. For today, we will be having three keynote speakers. Again, our topic is Innovation Roundtable, Innovations on Mental Health in School Setting. For our first speaker today is Ms. Juliana P. Ascendido, a registered guidance counselor and registered psychometrician. Her students and counselees fondly call her Miss Juliet, Miss A, or Miss Ascendido. She is a graduate of BS Psychology and took units of education at Centro Escolar University. She finished her master's degree in guidance and counseling at Roosevelt College, now called FEU Roosevelt. She attended various non degree programs in guidance and counseling to continuously update herself. At present, she is the guidance coordinator of Siena College of Taytay. She is also an active member of Philippine Guidance and Counseling Association, Psychological Association of the Philippines, and Luzon, Visayas OP Siena Schools Association Guidance Commission. Friends, ladies and gentlemen, let us all welcome Miss Juliet Ascendido.
Good morning, everyone. Blessed be God forever. Thank you, Miss Lychee. This morning, my task is to share with you what are the innovations that we have done at the Guidance Center. Since this is really a challenge for all of us, since we were caught unaware of this pandemic. So one of which is what we call the teleweb session with our students. We also call it kumustahan or the routine interview. This is from grade school to college students. We have yung routine, counseling, whether it be academic or career. So we also have, we conducted also a webinar on or during the homeroom period. For grade 7, we had yung cyberbullying because we thought that nowadays the time of these students are longer in front of their gadgets or using their gadgets longer in a longer period of time. So this is very important and timely for them to be informed about cyberbullying. For grades 8 to 10, we have self-care. And for the college students, we have uh, self-care amidst the pandemic. And another webinar which we gave them last time is what we call what we think, we feel, what we feel, we act. We also were able to provide online forms since we have to substitute our cumulative record folder so that it will be useful. We had the CRF and the routine interview form using using Google Form. Webinar sponsored by the Lobopsea Guidance Commission for students, parents, and teachers. So we were able to come up with different webinars for the students, parents, and teachers so that we will be able to help them under this particular pandemic or our new normal. For our parents, we gave them a webinar on Kumusta Anak? Usap tayo. Kasi sabi nga natin sa Pilipino, no, ang mga bata kasi since they are at home, no, most of the time. So it's very important that parents are able to understand how they feel because they were not able to go out for a long period of time since pandemic started. So yung students naman, for the students, we gave them it's okay not to be okay and when okay is no longer okay. So kailan nga ba natin masasabi na okay pa talaga yung bata? Kasi it is their usual answer to our question or to our query. Kumusta ka? Okay lang po, 'di ba? So we have to identify and we have to define when is okay, no longer okay. So we invited the guest speaker for them to understand their feelings and what this statement is all about. So another one is for the teachers. We gave them social emotional learning to enhance students' academic performance. So we also invited a guest speaker in the person of Dr. Hoxon so that the teachers will be guided as to what's happening with our students emotionally since yun nga sabi natin they were confined at home, they cannot go out, they cannot socialize with their friends. So it is but proper that they understand as a second parent to these children or to these students. We also have provision for our FB page. So we have our own FB page in guidance, and in that particular page no, meron po tayong binibigay na mga tips sa bata, mga mental health tips. And please Sir Daryl, can we play the video? Thank you. Ay, asa na sir? FB page ng guidance, the students can directly message us as to their concern. We also gave yung orientation for teachers, parents, and students. And we also did our online interview with student applicants, especially our scholars. Okay. So you've seen the FB page of Siena College of Taytay Guidance Center. And to uh, give you a little story about the teleweb session, it's actually a challenge for all of us this pandemic because we're used to calling students during the face-to-face at the guidance center. But then, since classes are online, so we need to be ready with also online teleweb session with students. And we do that every day by sending them an email in their account and then the Google link where we will be able to meet the students. So that will give them actually 30 minutes each daily for us to be able to get in touch with our students because we know for a fact that it is important for us to be able to reach out to our students, especially during this time of the pandemic. Thank you very much. Good morning and blessed be God forever.
And thank you so much, Miss Juliet Ascendido, for what you had mentioned to all of us. We had again in Siena College of Taytay the teleweb session or the kumustahan and the routine interview. Much more would be mentioned later on after the keynote speakers. For our second keynote speaker for today is Mr. Ephraim Abad Canairo, MED, LPT, RGC, CSASS. He attended his Master of Education, major in Guidance and Counseling at the Philippine Normal University, Manila, and Bachelor of Science in Psychology at the Philippine Normal University, Manila. For his work experiences, he had been an on-call career development facilitator at the De La Salle University, Manila, chairman of the psychology program at Colegio de San Juan de Letran, guidance counselor also at the mentioned school, guidance counselor also at the De La Salle College of St. Benilde, guidance counselor and career and placement officer at St. Paul University, Manila, among others. All of the guidance, counseling, testing, and placement department at Colegio de San Juan de Letran, Manila. He is a registered guidance counselor, a licensed teacher, major in values education, and certified student affairs and services specialist. He also had professional affiliations. He had been a former treasurer at the CEAP-NCR, the Tertiary Committee. He had been member in the Philippine Association for Counselor Education, Research and Supervision, a member also at the Philippine Guidance and Counseling Association, among others. He had facilitated seminars and trainings for students, parents, faculty, guidance counselors, and other professionals, and even developed learning modules. Friends, ladies and gentlemen, let us give a virtual round of applause to Mr. Ephraim Hanairo.
Good morning po. Good morning everyone. Am I audible? Miss Lychee, am I audible po ba? Narinig po ako? Am I audible?
Oh, yes, sir. We could hear you.
Yes, thank you ma'am for a very generous, what do you call that, introduction. No po, just call me EJ for short. I'm just really glad to be here in the sixth year of the Innovation Month, the Philippine Innovation Month, and to be part of this very wonderful and very promising endeavor in terms of contribution to our country. And I would like to commend the team, the BCYF, the USEICP, Dr. Punay. I think he's doing this thing around the clock. Talagang siya ang busy-busy na po para at least make this thing happen. Of course, member din ng kanyang team. All right. So, I'm from Letran, Manila, and I'm just very fortunate just being here. I'm just going to use my 10 minutes. I have given 10 minutes, but we're going to start on time. We're going to finish on time. Okay. So, to start with, allow me to share my presentation. I hope makikita po ito, ma'am. Ayan po, I'm sharing my presentation. Share screen po ako. I'm sharing now my presentation. Ayan, I hope you can see it, ma'am.
Not yet, sir. Ayan po, okay na po.
Ayan po.
No,
Alright,
sir.
sige po. Alright, allow me to share the setup that we have, no? Innovations on mental health and well-being services amidst pandemic, the school setting. Basically, it's the Letran experience now that we do. I really admire the first presentation a while ago because I have something in common and I feel glad that we're not alone in innovating things in the delivery of mental health to our stakeholders. We talk about stakeholders, we're talking about students, faculty, staff, parents, and administrators. No, in our case, we are giving the mental health and well-being services across stakeholders. All right. Okay, so it's a fact actually based on research. There are lots of research already, no, that the mental health impacts on our students during COVID pandemic. On top of that, aside from students, I guess we, no, as mental health professionals, also affected by the pandemic. The administrators, the staff, all of us, in short. And basically, this is the third wave or the other wave that we need to deal after the pandemic or during pandemic. Our mental health is really affected by this kind of situation that we have from face to face, the new normal. There you go. Now, mental health is being what do you call that, supported or mandated by law already. For everybody's information, this is Mental Health RA 11036. There are lots of stipulations about how do we go about with our mental health programs. So, in our programs in school, we also base our programs on this. And basically, well-being, in short, this is something that we realize our potentials, our abilities to cope with stresses of life, with the stresses of COVID that brought to us, okay? And we display resilience in the face of extreme life events. Now we can bounce back. And this is the most important, to works productively and fruitfully and is able to make a positive contribution to the community. And this is what about our mental health services. This is the sole purpose of our mental health services. Now, allow me to share there are barriers, no? And nowadays we have experienced this, the barriers to mental health. People nowadays they cannot embrace fully, when discussing about mental health because of stigma and of course of shame. And basically here we advocate. No? In our school, we advocate as part of our innovations. We normalize mental health. No, particularly when we say men needing emotional support. Of course, in general, we need emotional support. We are free to express ourselves. We are free to being supported, being heard, and being felt. Okay, that's what is the thing that we're doing in terms of our delivery of our programs. So we normalize mental health, just like how we normalize our physical and other health in ourselves. Now, allow me to share some of innovations that we have here in Letran, Manila. So basically, there are some foundations that we are considered. We are proactive, okay? So we are really in terms of, getting in touch with students. We are proactive. We are, nowadays, minsan nga, we are very makulit, just to give them assistance, okay? And we base our programs on data-driven, evidence-based. No, our approach is basically based on the evidence, not just for the from YouTube or whatsoever um, data that you have. Okay, so it should be evidence-based, culturally sensitive. Now later I'm going to share with you the program that we have based on the Philippine setting, because nowadays the theoretical framework and the interventions are based in the Western. So we have identified and try to integrate the Philippine culture, okay, in terms of our interventions. And of course, ethically bound. This is very important. Now, allow me to share, of course, now how do we go about with our programs and services during pandemic? Because we need to be active in terms of our social networking sites. No, so again, it's the same. We have the social networking sites with Facebook, Twitter, and of course IG and other things that the students, the parents can reach to us. And I guess one of the unique thing that we have here, during the pandemic, and of course to date, we have this kind of mental health and psychosocial support contact information. We have just like so-called crisis hotline. Okay, on top of the information we're giving our students, to tap the external for DOH. We have our own for our students, for our parents, and it is being handled by one counselor, each month. Okay, so even it's the middle of the night, we were able to entertain, or if it's really urgent, about life and death, we answer and cater to the needs, counseling needs of our students. You can also email us, and of course the social networking sites. On top of that, we have strengthened our roster of personnel. We have registered guidance counselor, we have psychometricians, and we hired also an on-call psychologist, okay, to support us. And we have networks in terms of the psychiatrists, because these are the professionals that being needed in terms of the situation that we have during the pandemic. Okay, so we're good with that. Now, in terms of services, we are actually have this kind of annual celebration. We call it the Mental Health and Wellbeing Celebration from kinder to graduate school, across. Now, what is this all about? Mental health celebration is the various activities that we give to our stakeholders. It includes parents, faculty, and administrators. No, last time our theme is hawa-hawang ginhawa sa pandemya, no? I'm going to highlight the word ginhawa because, of course, no, with the help of our team, collaboration is really important. We need to collaborate with different departments as to deliver the mental health services to our stakeholders. Ginhawa, this is the Filipino term of mental health and well-being. This is a program being approved by the school to be delivered to all stakeholders. It's really we call it from the top to bottom approach of mental health. Okay, and this is a program wherein we give interventions, no, we give trainings in terms of being resilient, no, being emotionally well amidst pandemic. Okay, so I won't go much on that because it's a very, it's like different activities now rolled into one. But I'm going to give it as a one mental health and well-being celebration. This is actually the fifth year of celebrating our mental health. We are celebrating it before pandemic already, but this time it's a challenge. Now we do that into an online or virtual activity. And this is something that we can be proud about. No, in Eletran, we have this kind of comprehensive online student inventory record. This is actually in place, I guess 7 years ago. All right, so we have the hard copies of student files. Yes, this is very important not to keep your copies of your records. At the same time, we have this kind of system or program being developed, with our ITSD, our information, our programmer in school. We have a wonderful programmer here. That's why they are making this kind of program. So what is this? All of the information of our students being recorded, no, in terms of online. So everything is online there. The data about students, the record about students, is data. The test about students, already there. Okay, and the counselors, all right, we can access that anywhere as long as we have laptop and internet. Same thing with the students. They can also answer or updated their records using this one. Also, the surveys is being input in terms of our program. This is the COSIR in short. Now, what's the good thing about that? No, and I guess one of the innovations that we have made is basically developing our own tools. Okay, we have a rosters of good psychometricians here, and of course guidance counselors. We have psychologists on the board, and we have other professionals with the help of test development. No, we developed the online assessment tools. No? We have also developed our own student academic engagement tool because we want to know, no, how the students are go about in terms of their academic engagements amidst pandemic. And we also have the social emotional learning. So social emotional learning is basically this is the foundation of our services. All right. So basically, the guidance office is more on nurturing the non-academic side, which is the social emotional learning tool. And social emotional is very important and crucial in terms of in terms of developing our students in general. And lastly, we have this self-care inventory because we believe that mental health and well-being is being achieved through self-care. All right, so let's document and evidence that self-care is really crucial for you to maintain or have the balance of mental health. And we have developed of the self-care inventory wherein it's we can detect if we can somehow assume that if you have the low self-care, therefore your mental health is at stake. All right. So data is very important in our schools. So that's why we also give the data or the information, the profile that we have, not online, no, to the administrator, to the concerned faculty and teachers. Of course, considering the privacy of each and every one. So this one we have shared because we use the G Suite, no, because we want the privacy or the security of the records that we have. So data is very important in terms of the interventions, in terms of programs that we can do to our students. Okay, so I mentioned about self-care is basically this is one of the advocacy in terms of our Ginhawa program. Okay, so I would like to end this with the reminder to take care of ourselves. Okay, innovations starts with ourselves, starts how we handle ourselves now in this pandemic. And again, we have to be creative. We have to be sensitive to other people. We have to be understanding, no? And by doing that, doing the self-care to ourselves. Okay, I'm going to end it with, of course, self-care calendar. I hope everyone who is watching our FB okay, medyo madaming nanonood and of course attending this session, is I hope we can have this self-care calendar. Please do have that every month because again, self-care isn't selfish. Self-care is about how you nourish yourself because everything starts with yourself. When yourself is really good, then that's the time you can care to other people. That's the time you can serve other people. And of course, we are a Catholic school run by the Dominicans. We also believe that and our faith is very important. The foundation of our innovations is our faith. So we believe that when we turn our worry into worship, God will definitely turn our battle into blessings. Maraming salamat po. Salamat sa pakikinig. Arriba. Thank you.
Thank, thank you so much, Sir EJ. I have learned something new for today. Again, self-care. Sabi nga natin, taking care of ourselves. It's an innovation that starts with ourselves. We have to be creative. We have to be sensitive and understanding to others. So let us remind and let us check our friends, diba? Self-care is how you nourish so that you could give back to others because you cannot give what you do not have. And for our last keynote speaker, she is Mrs. Eloisa Calderon Tesumishona, RGC and LPP, but she loved to be simply called Miss Aiza. She is a graduate of secondary education, major in values education and guidance and counseling, and special education units at Siena College of Taytay. She also finished her master's degree in guidance and counseling at the Philippine Normal University. She is a licensed teacher and guidance counselor. She attended various trainings in counseling children with special needs, marriage and family counseling, adolescent counseling, and mental health. She have worked at China College of Taytay as part of the Registrar's Office and also in St. Paul College, Pasig as a full-time guidance counselor for grade school and high school, and also a part-time teacher for senior high school for the personality development subject. She also serves as a consultant for a skills training institute. She is an active member of Philippine Guidance and Counseling and a founding member of Philippine Guidance and Counseling Rizal chapter. At present, she is a grade school guidance counselor at San Beda University Rizal and PGCA Rizal chapter vice president. She is an advocate of mental health, counselor, and teacher development. But more than anything else, she is a happy wife and a mother of kids. Welcome home, Miss Aiza. Again, ladies and gentlemen, we have Miss Eloisa Calderon Sesumishon.
Hello, good morning. Thank you for that wonderful introduction. It is really nice to be back in my alma mater. And of course, in behalf of San Beda University Rizal Guidance and Counseling Office under Sir Benjamin Coloma, we would like to thank Siena College Taytay, Philippine Innovative Month is really a great opportunity for us to be able to share our services in the midst of pandemic. It is, tama po si Miss Juliet kanina, it's not really easy even to the counseling profession and how we're going to deliver the services, especially in this hard time of pandemic. But more than ever, it's always the counselors' good heart that we will try our best to still support our students. Just like the two other speakers, we have a lot of activities given to our students. So with that, let me share with you a glimpse of the IBED San Beda University Rizal Guidance and Counseling Office with a short video. Let me just share po my screen. Mami, I hope you're seeing my screen now. Okay. Po.
Excuse me, Miss Liza. There's no audio po for the video. Kindly share the screen as well as the audio po.
Okay, sorry. I was asking ko pa. Sige, let me share it again po. Sorry.
While we are waiting for the presentation, let me just remind our students that later on, there will be a Google form link that we will provide that you have to answer so that you could get your e-certificate. Again, later on, the Google form link will be pinned in our comment section. I,
The IBET
I
guidance
Hello, Miss Lechi. Wala pa rin po.
assisting your children
I could hear now po.
manage their
Medyo may narinig
schooling.
na po ako konti.
Only
Okay,
questions
thank
Yes
you.
po, ma'am. Okay na po. Share screen na lang, ma'am.
competitive. These are
The
our
video po.
ways in
Thank
providing
you
our
po.
living services remotely. The objectives of the IBET Guidance and Counseling Office are concretized through the following services and programs which are made suitable with the technological advancements, secured, and compliant online platforms. Social emotional learning and support. As the students are in the confines of their homes, the guidance counselors and facilitators will continue to offer online services within the bounds of informed consent and data privacy. The following relevant programs and accessible services to ensure the well-being of students and promote emotional safety and belongingness will be made available. Counseling and consultation. Routine interview. Guidance class or growth in Christian personhood. Kumustahan sessions. Webinars. Fair Facilitator Program. And Transition Program. Career Development Guidance Program. It is essential that the career guidance be continuously provided to BED students. The following activities will help them in making sound career decisions in relation to their future career plans. The following services are as follows: career testing, career counseling and consultations, career cruising, and career streaming program. Partnering with families. This provides services designed to assist parents strengthen their partnership with the school and promote unity among the family members as they face the challenges of home-based schooling. We catered the following services: consultations and conferences, webinars, Guidance Connection magazine, and useful articles and resources posted in our FB page. Collaborations with teachers. To build stronger collaboration between the teachers and guidance counselors and facilitators, the following services were offered: consultation and referrals, kumustahan sessions, webinars, and counseling tips for teachers. We hope this familiarizes you with the IBET Guidance and Counseling Office this academic year 2021 to 2022. We encourage you to reach out and contact us if you have some concerns regarding your children. You may course your concern through the Guidance Connect's online appointment system. This is the Guidance Connects, advocating change and healing lives. And we, the Guidance Cares. It is our pleasure to be of service to you, that in all things, God may be glorified.
Hello. So that's our services, and to give you at least a summary of it. Okay, so in Sunbeda Guidance and Counseling Office, we innovate all our services and migrate it online. So, aside from our usual services being offered before the pandemic, we focuses this year to the four major aspect on how we're going to deliver the service. So we make it for students, families, and teachers. Okay. So under students, all activities that focus on the student itself. Kasama na rin yung career development nila. Okay, we have one-on-one with them, interview, we have guidance classes, we have a lot of webinars, peer facilitators training, and even leadership training, as well as their career streaming program. With the families, we give them different talks. We give them a lot of information in our FB page and even in our own LSM or learning management system, which is the MS Teams, and even to our teachers. This pandemic really is a very challenging year to all of us, I guess to all other schools. Okay? But sabi nga po kanina ng mga speakers natin, there might not be a perfect program, but what is important in this year or in this pandemic, it's not just the program itself, but it's the willingness of the school, especially the caring heart of the counselors who are very much willing to assist and help our student. So with this po, again, I am very grateful and thankful to the organizers for giving us a chance and opportunity to share our services. Thank you and God bless.
Thank you so much, Ms. Aiza, for giving us a glimpse of what San Beda University offers. And one thing that I'd like to point out in her talk is that we should have a good heart. Not only the counselors, but us also as the educators. Yeah. So again, for our keynote speakers, we had Miss Juliet, Mr. EJ, and Miss Isa. At this point in time, we will be having or calling our reactors. So for our reactors, we divided them into two groups. First group would be our educators, and the second group is our students. For our first group of reactors, she is a special education teacher for almost 9 years. She is also the program coordinator of Siena College, Quezon City SPED Department, and likewise the faculty club president for 3 consecutive years of the said institution. Let us all welcome teacher Jazreen Milea P. Alfonso.
All right. So, good morning, everyone. So, is my audio clear po? Is it clear? It's clear naman.
Yes po, ma'am.
Yeah. Thank you very much, our very beautiful host. So, as for today, thank you for the invitation to be a reactor for our event today. And as an educator, it's my pleasure to share my experiences and knowledge on our topic for today. It's really enticing and nakakabuhay ng spirit yung mga services na narinig ko kanina from our keynote speaker. Kasi on our institution and our own institution, we are really doing those things through our guidance counselor, and yes, the collaboration between the different offices inside an institution is very important. Um, as an educator and as a special educator, it's not really easy to be in the setup on what we are doing today, the pandemic. Yan. Very important yung mental health, especially hindi lang naman sa ating mga students, hindi lang naman sa ating mga teachers, but actually as a community, okay, as a school community, because there are really big changes that's happening. Pero I believe kasi na education is the path to innovation. Kumbaga, what do we mean by innovation? These are new methods, right? These are ideas, new ideas. These are products or new products or new practice of developing and introducing new things. And that is what happening as of the moment. We are already on our second year, school year, second school year in a pandemic. And our mental health is the one na inatake talaga ng pandemic. Actually, yung pagtuturo, sabihin na natin, madali na lang sa teachers aralin kung ano yung lesson. Pero ang pinakamahirap na part is, paano mo siya maituturo sa mga students mo in an online platform wherein you can still create a very conducive and a healthy environment through virtual, right? So, isa pa is, when you are teaching special education also, there are really big things that you need to consider. It's not just your PowerPoint presentation because we are doing it before na. Pero yung PowerPoint presentation mo ba is really good or is enough to make your day with your students a productive one. So I'm very struck also doon sa sinabi ni Mr. Hanairo sa kanyang talk kanina or sharing about socio-emotional. So very important talaga yung socio-emotional ng ating mga students and likewise our teachers and personnel. Kasi dito nakasalalay kung ano yung magiging flow ng bawat araw, right? Dito nakasalalay kung ano yung magiging mood ng bawat isa kasi our mood as a teacher will reflect or will be affected, will affect or will affect the mood of our students and likewise the people around us. Also, dun din sa sinabi ni Ma'am Calderon kanina, yung tungkol sa we should have a good heart, it's really important kasi we cannot really transform a certain institution or a certain class as an educator if we don't have a heart on what we are doing. Hindi naman pwedeng nagtuturo lang tayo. It's not just about teaching and teaching and teaching the lesson kung ano yung nasa curriculum natin. It's more of the heart on how you teach this certain lesson kasi ang gusto mong mangyari is matutunan ng isang bata or ng ating isang learner kung ano man yung lesson, kung ano man yung lesson for the day and paano niya ito ma-apply in real life based on our situation at the moment. And also yung faith, sobrang malaking bagay yon. Malaking bagay yon on how we can be able to cope up with what's happening right now. Okay? Kasi kung wala kang faith, kung wala tayong faith, we cannot be able to trust ourselves, trust our colleagues, trust our students that they can be able to survive at this time of pandemic, especially their mental health, right? And with a reminder that self-care is the first and foremost thing that we need to consider. Yes, I agree with that. Because as an educator and a special education teacher, if you don't have self-care, you cannot be able to give care to others too, right? Hindi natin ma-achieve yung isang bagay kung sa atin, sa sarili natin is hindi natin alam kung paano i-achieve ito. Kasi nga, we want others to achieve it. We want others to feel it. So, self-care, unahin muna natin yung sarili natin. And that's the time we can share or we can fill up another cup, especially the cup of our students. Pero hindi lang ng ating students, pati na rin yung mga ibang personnel, yung ating administrators, ating non-teaching personnel, ating co-teachers, mapifill up natin yung cup nila kung tayo mismo is puno yung cup natin or nag-uumapaw pa, right? So, I think those are the things that I can share as an educator. And lastly, always remember that communication is really important so that we can take care of our health by gesture man yan, by verbal man yan, or non-verbal communication, written communication. Still, it's very important because that's the first thing para malaman ng mga tao sa paligid natin kung ano na ba yung state ng ating nararamdaman, kung ano na ba yung mental state natin, kung okay pa ba tayo, or kung kailangan na ba nating mag-stop sa isang bagay. And lastly, as an educator, we must also be very sensitive of our students' mental health and mental state. Kasi tayo ang pangalawang magulang nila kahit hindi man sa classroom pero sa virtual classroom. Kasi tayo yung laging natatakbuhan ng ating mga estudyante in times na minsan hindi nila ma-express kung ano man yung hindi nila ma-express sa kanilang bawat tahanan. So, I hope that each educator will always put in mind that a passionate heart is really important when it comes on educating our students, especially when innovation takes place. That's all. Thank you po.
Thank you so much, Ms. Joseline, for what you had mentioned. A passionate heart is important is in educating our students. Again, thank you so much, Ms. Joseline from Siena College of Taytay. Ang
Thank
susunod
you.
nating taga ang susunod nating tagabigay ng reaksyon ay ang pinakabatang tagapamuno ng Departamento ng Filipino sa Siena College of Taytay sa loob ng 3 taon. Siya ay isang guro sa senior high school ng Filipino at tapos ng kanyang mag-aral sa PUP Manila. Andito po sa atin si Binibining Maria Erica Dacanay.
Naririnig ako? Magandang buhay. Naririnig po ako?
Rinig po, rinig po, Binibining Dacanay.
Ayan. So, unang-una sa lahat, maraming bati, Binibining De La Torre at sa iyong buhay na buhay sa pagiging tagapagdaloy. Una sa lahat, gusto ko lang sabihin na napakaswerte, no? Napakaganda ng araw dahil nabigyan tayo ng pagkakataon na makatunghay ng mga ganitong uri ng usapin, lalong-lalo na't napapanahon, di ba? Ito yung kalusugang pangkaisipan. Nagsimula nga ang lahat sa pagbibigay ng rason na ito ay bunga ng pandemic, 'di ba nga, Miss De La Torre, pandemya. Lahat ay hindi handa doon sa mga pagbabago na kaakibat ng ganitong sistema, 'di ba? Yung pag sa estudyante, hindi sila sanay sa ganitong uri ng online, samantalang sa mga guro naman ay hirap din sila, lalong-lalo na't nasanay tayong magturo, 'di ba, ng face to face, yung mga estratehiya natin na ginagamit, lahat ng ating mga teknik ay nakabatay mula noon sa face to face. Pero sinasabi natin na ito ay magdudulot ng stress kapag hindi natin inagapan, 'di ba? At kapag ang stress na 'yan ay lalong lumalim, baka ito ay lalo pang magtuon sa malalim na emosyon at depression. Kaya nga sabi, titigil ka na lang ba doon sa ganitong sitwasyon? Hindi. Kailangan mag-isip ka ng solusyon. Ano bang inobasyon ang dapat mong gawin, 'di ba? Na nakararanas tayo ng ganitong problema sa pangkalusugang pangkaisipan. Ako bilang guro sa loob ng maglilimang taon, mula pa sa face-to-face hanggang sa online, napapansin ko na pare-parehas. Kumbaga, nagbago man ang kumbaga pumasok man ang pandemya, pero pare-pareho pa ring nakararanas ang bata ng ganitong problema. Pare-parehas pa rin pare-parehas pa rin ang kanilang problema sa pamilya, sa sarili nila, sa mga desisyon nila sa buhay. Gano'n din na naging tagapamuno ako, hindi na lang basta bata ang iniisip ko, hindi na lang basta problema ng pamilya ang iniisip, kundi yung mga guro mismo, 'di ba? Magugulat ka na bakit ganito ang ina-action nila sa ganitong araw, bakit ganito malungkot sila, bakit hindi sila masayang magturo, bakit tila may problema. Siyempre kakausapin mo, malalaman mo na may problema pala sa pamilya, may problema palang pansarili at ikaw bilang tagapamuno, dapat handa kang makinig, handa kang magbigay ng payo sa abot ng iyong makakaya. So ang ganda-ganda no na mahalaga yung pangkaisipang pangkalusugan, hindi lang basta yung emotional natin, yung intellectual, spiritual. Kasi kapag maayos yung mental natin, yung kaisipan, kumbaga makakabuo tayo ng produktibong gawain, 'di ba? Makakabuo tayo ng isang komunidad na punong-puno ng saya. Dito sa tatlong tagapagsalita na ating napakinggan, halos napakasayang isipin na kahit pandemya, no, nakakaisip pa rin sila ng iba't ibang pamamaraan, papaano nila matutulungan ang estudyante man o mga guro. Naglista ako, Binibining de la Torre, ng ilang mga nakuha ko doon sa kanila, no. Kay Ginang Asindido, meron tayong teleweb session dito sa Siena College of Taytay. Meron tayong webinar, syempre may pang teacher, may pang college, may pang student, meron din tayong mga online interview, 'di ba? Tapos meron din tayong social media site na pwedeng-pwede ring mag-kumontak kaagad ang mga magulang, bata o maging ang guro kung sakaling kailangan nila ng advice sa ating guidance counselor. At marami pa tayong partnership, 'di ba? Andiyan pa yung Lubobseya. Pag nakapagbibigay ang Lubobseya ng webinar, umaattend din ng mga bata at mga guro. Samantalang kay Ginoong Hanayro naman, no, diniin niya na ang kanilang sistema ay nakabatay sa database or evidence base. Sa kanila raw ay uso rin ang social networking site. Kumbaga kahit sa atin, no, ito nga itong programa nito ay napapanood tayo ng marami via FB. So ano pa kaya na hindi rin sa social networking site pwedeng makatulong ang programang mental, 'di ba? Para sa mga bata at magulang. So meron din silang tinatawag na crisis hotline, 'di ba? So isang tawag mo lang, pwedeng-pwede ka nang makahingi ng advice dun sa mga sasagot sa kanilang paaralan. Tapos meron din silang tinatawag na virtual mental health celebration. Siguro sobrang saya ng ganitong uri ng programa, no? Sabi nga niya, tampok dito ang iba't ibang aktibidad, 'di ba? Iba't ibang training at intervention para sa bata, magulang at pati na rin sa mga guro. Samantalang ang huli, natuwa ako, si Ginang Calderon pala ay mula rin, Miss De La Torre, sa Siena, Taytay noon. Siguro hindi na namin naabutan, pero hanggang sa ibang paaralan ay nagpapatuloy pa rin siya, no, ng kanyang kagalingan. Nailista ko rin yung mga general na mga binubuo nila sa paaralan. Siyempre, meron din silang webinars, routine, interview, meron din silang guidance class. So siguro sa sistema na ito ay yung guidance counselor mismo ang nagtuturo dun sa mga bata. Siguro may guidance time sila, guidance class time na inilalaan. Siyempre, kagaya ng naunang dalawang eskwelahan, meron ding kumustahan session at meron ding peer facilitator program. Meron din silang transition program na yung mga batang mula junior high school papunta sa senior high school at yung kanilang career development program. Nagpanood pa siya ng video, no? At kung ating susuriin, pare-parehas ang tinutumbok ng kanilang inobasyon. Ang lahat ay nagmumula sa self-care. Pare-parehas na may ganitong uri ng programa. Dahil totoo nga, kagaya ng sinasabi ng karamihan din, hindi ka makakatulong sa iba kung sa sarili mo mismo wasak ka. 'Di ba? Binibining de la Torre. Kumbaga, um, kailangan buo ka muna bago ka makatulong sa iba at nagsisimula ang lahat ng 'yon sa pagmamahal sa sarili, pag-iintindi sa sarili at kapag ang sarili mo ay sinasabi na tama na o huminto na kapag tayo ay pagod na bilang guro o bilang estudyante, tumigil, magpahinga, wala namang problema, 'di ba? Lumabas, kumausap ng mga kaibigan at ng iba't iba pang pwede nating pagkuhanan ng tinatawag nga nating emotional support. Maraming maraming salamat, napakaganda, marami kaming natutuhan para sa araw na ito at iiwan ko lamang ang napakagandang programa na ito ng aking hashtag kalusugang pangkaisipan ating pagkaingatan. Maraming salamat po.
Maraming maraming salamat po, Binibining Dakanay. Yan. So at this point, we would just like to have again Miss Jezreen and Binibining Dakanay for our Q&A. And so should you wish to ask a specific uh, speaker po, you may do so. Or if not, it's for the keynote speakers to be with us.
Yes, thank you. Siguro ako, hello? Ayan, okay naman po yung audio.
Yes po, okay naman po.
Alright, thank you. Yeah, you've mentioned if we have questions, right? One very important question lang for all the keynote speaker, and I know that their work is really amazing because they are one of the people inside an institution or a school that really helps us teachers to help our students, right? So, ma'am and sir, our dear counselors, what can we hindi ko pwedeng sabing advice actually. What can we mention to our dear parents in case that they are not sure if their child is experiencing mental health issues like that, they've opened up, ayan, nag-open po sila, pero hindi sila sure. Ano po yung possible namin na pwedeng sabihin? Pwede po ba naming sabihin na mag-consult ka agad sa ating professionals? Or is it on us muna? Since hindi pa naman sila sure kung may mental health issues ang kanilang mga anak, pero they are just feeling it as a parent or observing it. Ano po kaya yung pinaka-best na pwede naming sabihin on this kind of situation as an educator? Thank you po.
Thank you, Ms. Zesreen. Siguro Mat, kanina. So we have Miss Juliet, Sir EJ, and then Miss Anna. Thank you po.
Good morning. Doon sa question mo, ma'am, sa akin po, no, sa palagay ko, hindi naman po agad-agad kailangan i-escalate sa psychologist or sa sa mga doktor natin. Ang unang-una po kailangan tingnan po natin, observe natin yung bata. Ano po ba yung mga napapansin natin? Kagaya ng nakakatulog pa po ba yung bata? Ilang oras po yung tulog niya? Tapos po nakakakain po ba ng maayos? Pag kinausap mo po ba siya, pay attention pa rin ba siya sa'yo? So titingnan po natin yung mga red flags, no? Meron po tayong sinasabi na red flags. So dapat po makita natin yung ilan dun sa mga na-observe natin, yung present na parang kailangan na natin siyang i-consult. Pwedeng sa guidance counselor muna, tapos saka po natin siya i-refer sa isang psychologist. Yun po ang point ko.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you po. Yeah, correct po. Nga po. Sige po, we'll take note of it. Thank you po.
Thank you so much, Miss Juliet. Next, we have Sir EJ.
Hello po ulit. Am I audible? Naririnig po ako?
Sir, loud and clear po.
Okay, that's good. Kasi kanina medyo naglalag tayo, no? Sige po. That's actually the question is talagang yan ang mga tanong ng faculty natin. At kami mismo, yan din yung mga tanong namin when we have conference with our parents, no po? So always remember that the values, no, and the values formation start at home. At lahat po ng meron ng mga bata natin, yan po ay bagaheng binubuo o ginagawa ng mga magulang nila at na community kung nasaan po sila. Tayo po ay parang parte lang ng kanilang journey into a greater purpose in life. No po? So importante, i-highlight natin sa parents, ang number one, open communication. No po? The parenting, there's the perfect ingredients for that. There's no school for that for the parenting. That's why when we have the chance to talk to our parents, we advocate to your parents, no, in a very nice, sweet way, no, na reminding them that parent, they have the big responsibility in the development of their kids. Sometimes parents are, they have the misconceptions na, okay, papasok ko sa inyo, kayo na bahala dyan. That's not the thing, that's not the purpose of education. No po? It's a partner, no, collaborate with parents and systemic approach, no, based on studies that systemic approach is really effective in, helping the students, development of the students, no, open communication to the students, to their kids. It is very important. How to do that? No, by being sensitive to their kids, sensitive to the behavior, and of course, get involved with the life of their kids because nowadays parents are busy. It's a fact because they need to earn for a living, right? They don't have time for their kids, and they need to be reminded that at the same time they spare time, a little time for their kids, especially nowadays. No, it's no harm to check on them, check on their social media activities, check discreetly, all right, with their friends, and of course, check discreetly with their teachers. Now, in terms of observation, if there's red flags, again, open communication is very important. We do not go to psychologists or psychiatrists hastily because, when we give interventions or medicine, they're very too young for that. So, again, remind them that it's a long journey, all right, and partnering is very important. No, our purpose is basically for the students' welfare and well-being. I guess that's it. That's my point on that question. Thank you.
Thank you po, Sir EJ. And of course, last, we have Miss Aiza.
Hello, thank you. Am I clear po? Ayan. Thank you for that wonderful question. Parang pang Miss Universe. But of course, it's really, tama po si Sir Ishi, it's one of the questions faculty really ask us. No? The two speakers were able to point out all actually. So siguro po for me, just to add on, kasi tama na po lahat ng sinabi nila. No? Guidance office is not a sole, or the teachers, hindi nyo po sole lang responsibility. Mental health program is an institutional program. It's a school-wide event po. Okay, and that's why we have this forum. This is one. Okay, it prepares the teachers, it prepares the parents, it prepares the student. Okay, this is one good activity that we can point out. The first time that parents talk to the faculty, siguro po one thing I could suggest is to thank them. Thank the parent. Okay, sabi ni sir, they're busy, but they find time to talk to any of the teachers, to share their observation. It means they're already bothered. Magulang po yan. I am a parent, and once there is something wrong in my kid, I know all the moves of my kid. And kapag meron pong isa na iba sa move ng anak ko, that's an alarming point. Tama po yan, mga parents, if you are there, if you are listening to all of us, your observation is a great answer to this problem. And then once you open up, you go to that particular teacher, is a very first step. It's acceptance already. Nakita mo na-accept ko there's something wrong and need help. Acceptance is the first and foremost step for recovery. Kapag natanggap ng magulang that there's something wrong. That's why we have to thank them. There are the people who could help us, especially in the time of pandemic. We have limited observation time with the students. So, kapag na-observe yan ng parent na sabi kay teacher, teacher, don't panic. Okay? It is a great privilege that someone, a parent, trusted us. So, feel grateful. Topic yung may sarili mo, okay lang to. Okay? I am proud that someone trusted me. Okay, makinig po tayo sa parent. Let's get all the details, okay, of their observation. Take note of that. Okay? And for sure, there is an orientation for teachers wherein sabi nga ni Ms. Asindido, we're able to share all the red flags. Okay? And in your class, observe. Recall the time na nakita mo yung estudyante. Okay? Then you match your observation plus the parent's observation. And if the teacher is already, yes, tama yung mommy. We have the same observation. Now you go to the next level. Okay? Level po yan. Tama po sila. Hindi tayo pwedeng dumiretso agad. Okay? Kalmado lang tayo. So go to the next level. You have guidance counselor in your school. Then approach your guidance counselor and put all the details of observation plus your conference with the parents. Huwag po tayong bibitaw. It's a long process. Tama po si Sir EJ. And when the counselor is there already getting all the details, for sure she will find time to really get her own observation and time for the students. So pag nakuha na po niya yon, okay, it's the counselor's call of what to do next. She also have her checklist, she also have her notes, okay, and all the researches that we have po. So tama po kayo, it's not easy for us then to decide kasi ang hirap din po siya basta ilabas for referral. But of course, that's the next step. Okay, the counselors will be the one to identify if we are going to put her or the students into the psychologist or psychiatrist. Okay, and if we are there already, hindi po tayo pwedeng bumitaw because we still have to follow up. And of course, we have to support the parents as well. Kung na-stress tayo, nalaman natin yung pinagdadaan ng bata, how about the parents? So the parents need us, the parents needs the teacher kung sino nakausap niya. Yung teacher, kailangan mo ng support from your counselor. And of course, the counselor needs support from the administrators. We have to let them know na may ilalabas kaming students for referral. So that's really a long process that we have to explain to the parents para hindi rin po sila mabigla. Na pag may sinabi sila sa atin, sagutin niyo yung problema ko, hindi po ganon. Okay? We have to let them calm down and explain to them the process na pagdadaanan mo as a teacher at process na pagdadaanan ni counselor sa pagharap ng kasong ito. Okay, this is a very critical case that every counselor is handling right now. So we also have to explain the side that it's not an easy process. Hindi siya one time, big time. Miss Asindido or Sir EJ, eto yung problema, sagutin nyo. Hindi po talaga. As much as we want to answer it right away, we can't. We are bound by the rules. The rules with our license that we have, there are a lot of rules din po that we have to consider plus the rule of the school. And of course, yun din pong rule ng magulang bilang magulang siya. And I think that is the best thing that I can share about this question. Thank you po. I hope it will also help the teachers out there. Thank you.
Thank you. Again, thank you to our keynote speakers, Miss Juliet, Sir EJ, and Miss Isa, for answering the question of Miss Jazreen Alfonso. How about you? Parang kailangan ko bang magtagalog? Kikinig na kanay. Kayo naman po, ano po ang inyong katanungan?
Ayan, una-una sa lahat siyempre ano na, pauna na ang pasasalamat sa ating mga, salita. Siyempre hindi naman 'to araw-araw 'di ba, Binibining De La Torre at Binibining Alfonso na nakakukuha tayo ng ganitong mga tao. Talagang ang kanilang kahusayan ay binigay ng buo, 'di ba nga? Pinag-uusapan na natin, maliwanag na yung tanong ni Binibining Alfonso, na ipaliwanag nila yung mga intervention na ginagawa sa estudyante, sa guro, pati sa talk nila kanina maliwanag. Siguro dako ko dun sa kanila. Total Philippine Innovation Month 'to. Ano naman ang, sitwasyon kung sila naman ang nakararanas ng ganitong, problema sa kanilang pangkaisipang pangkalusugan, ano naman ang kanilang ginagawang intervention? Kasi lagi nilang bata, teacher, kumusta naman sila? 'Di ba we're talking about self-care. Kumusta sila? Ano-ano ang kanilang ginagawa, o madali lang din kaya sa kanila kasi alam na nila ang proseso, o mahirap din dahil sila mismo ang ang paksa dito, ang pangunahing, nakararanas na nito. Yun lamang po. Maraming salamat.
Maraming salamat po, Binibining Dakanay. For this one, siguro we'll have first Sir EJ, Miss Aiza, and then Miss Juliet naman po. Okay, so let's start po with Sir EJ.
Okay.
Okay lang po ba kung okay mag-i-English, ma'am? Nahihirap ako sa Filipino. Sige po. So, basically, ang tanong ni ma'am is paano ako nag-handle, kami mga mental health professionals, paano namin inaalagaan ang aming kalusugang pangkaisipan, no, sa pandemya at sa pagbibigay ng serbisyo sa mga stakeholders ng school. Ako po, personally, talagang I advocate self-care, and because being a counselor, being a mental health professionals, doing interventions and handling lots of cases, no, every day, I have seen the missing link and I have seen the importance of self-care. That's why I highlighted the self-care. We developed, no, self-care inventory just to check on us, no, check some indicators that need to be developed and need to be improved, no, concerning our students and of course in ourselves. All right. So what I do is basically I do what I want. No, there's life after work. No, being professional, I always remember to set boundaries. Boundaries is very important. We know our limitations as professionals. After work, well, I'm EJ in the normal life. I'm with my family. I'm with the loved ones. All right. I do things that make me feel happy and recharge. So recharge is very important. We need to recharge, every now and then. And I also capitalize on my spiritual aspect. And nowadays, especially when you are being hunted with symptoms of depressions and anxiety, and we mental health professionals are no exempted for that. No, every day we handle lots of anxieties, demands with our works, worries about our students, demands with families, no, so on and so forth. And it's really important for us, to take care of ourselves, all right, and acknowledge that hey, you're not perfect. We are really developing every day, and every day today is a way for us, no, to appreciate, no, being mindful. No? Mindfulness is very important because I understand that this anxiety is being being helped. We're being helped, no, when we are being mindful of every day, mindful of the session that we have today. I'm really mindful of your sharing. I really appreciate your sharing, and I really mindful. It means that I really enjoy the moment with the Philippine Innovation Month. No? On top of that, it's something, that we can give to ourselves. All right. So self care is very important. Our spirituality is something that we can, something that we can acknowledge, nourish, and share to other people. Okay, I guess that's those are the things that I'm do to do to have my self care. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you for sharing that to us, Sir EJ. Probably we could also have that. And thank you so much. Next, we have Miss Aiza po.
Hello, once again, good morning po. No? First thing, kanina sabi ko, it's a wonderful question. This time, I want to say thank you to Miss Dakanay. You know what po, it's seldom that we were asked how are we and how are we doing this. Okay? At maraming salamat po because you give us opportunity to share what is the life of a counselor. Tama po si Sir EJ, it's not easy. Every day po we face different cases na hindi naman namin pwede sabihin kahit kanino because we are bound of confidentiality at dala po namin lahat yan sa dibdib, sa puso at sa isip namin. And it's not easy to live a day like that every day. Okay? When you teach, you have to walk the talk kasi tinuturuan namin kayo self-care. Lahat ng webinars nabigay ko na, no? But you come to think about it, akala niyo po ba okay lang kaming tatlo? Kabado po kaming tatlo. We are facing the entire Philippines now, sharing who we are and sharing what we got. And it's not easy. That's why I am very thankful na tanong niyo po kami, kamusta po kami? Okay? So, as a life of a counselor, minsan kahit sabihin mong i-counsel mo yung sarili mo, hindi naman pwede. Right? So we are also grateful kasi we are not bound with the school na meron kami itself. Okay? Meron din po kaming life after. Okay? And as a counselor po siguro, to all naman po the counselors watching for the entire Philippines, I know there are a lot also. Okay? Yung pong tinuturo natin, we just have to live with it. First thing, you have to love yourself. Okay? When you know your purpose, when you know your goal in life, I think ayun yung pinaka nakakagaang sa buhay. Na kahit napagod ka na, no? Gigising ka pa rin in the following morning because you know you have clients that you have to talk to. Okay? And paano maalagaan yung sarili mo is the same way kung ano yung tinuturo natin. Ano mo ba tinuturo namin? Self-care, tinuturo namin yung well-being, tinuturo namin lahat yan. Okay? Then, siguro one thing na meron din kami is sa community. Okay? Hindi lang po kami counselor sa eskwelahan na meron kami. Sabi ko nga po, we are members of different organizations kasi we have to air out how we feel. Minsan kailangan sabay-sabay lang kami mag-rant ng nararanasan namin. So we are member of different organizations po. Okay, so recently, last week, we had the SEAP NCR. Okay, we're in lahat po ng counselors ng SEAP school nakaharap namin to air out how they feel. Okay, we are also member of the Philippine Guidance and Counseling Association Rizal. Pag magkakasama din yung mga taga Rizal na counselors, kanya-kanya ring labas. We have to air it out kasi hindi pwedeng mapuno tayo. Kasi once pagka po, kami po ang napuno na, nakakatakot din. Kasi kami yung mga mental health professional who would help us. Kakaunti na po kami. Kaya actually po, kaya kami natutuwa sa event na to because we know that we can encourage people out there to be part of us. The teachers can be part of the mental health team, mga mental health practitioner man. We are of course professionals but we can ask help. Siguro iyon po isa sa akin share with as I am also asking help. Daldal po akong tao and when I feel I'm down already, I have a lot of friends. My Siena family is still at my back. Okay, I have a lot of community and I'm happy now because kahit kinakabahan ako, the Siena family was there, Sadbeda was there. I think the PGCA Rizal is also watching. So ang dami pong people na makakatulong sa atin. I'm also undergoing counseling at times. We have to acknowledge that it's okay not to be okay and it's also nice to ask help. Kahit po sino sa atin, we have to ask help. Ask guidance, siguro one thing pa po is your spiritual life matters. Okay, sa kahit sino pong profession, your spiritual life matters. Dadating kami at kami dumadating sa point that we are really tired. But of course, pag alam mo na may Diyos ka, may family ka, may community ka at your back, makakabangon ka and ask help. And of course, always be grateful to the people na nagtatanong. At pag may nagtanong po sa inyo kung kamusta ka, okay, counselors, it's okay to say what you feel. You are also human being. Mental health advocates are professional. You are also human being. It's okay to say how you feel, okay? Because that's one way of helping yourself out. Thank you.
Again, thank you so much to our speakers who have shared insights to us, Ms. Juliet, Sir EJ, and Ms. Aiza. And maraming maraming salamat po sa inyong katanungan, Ding Dakanay. So again, it is also important to have support system if that's how we call it. We at times, we ask our friends, we ask our family members, how are they? Hindi lang lagi yung tayo yung tinatanong. Tayo din po, let us extend our hand to others. Again, thank you so much for our educators. Again, from Siena College, Quezon City, Ms. Jocelyn Alfonso. And from Siena College of Taytay, Binibining Dacanay. Let us now proceed to our group two of our actors. These are our students coming from different schools. First, we have as bona fide student of Siena College, Quezon City, a grade 12 humanities and social science student, and a National Youth Congress delegate. Ladies and gentlemen, let us welcome Daniel Alexandra Mariano.
Um, Hello, good morning. Thank you for having me. Um, from what I've heard earlier with the discussions from our guest speakers, I can say that we are slowly accepting or normalizing the concept of mental health. Although hindi pa siya perfectly destigmatized, as I would say, I think these steps are very crucial in acknowledging that it's okay not to be okay, and that there are truly people who are willing to extend their help, especially for those who need it, especially with regarding mental health related issues. As a humanities and social science student, I think this is very helpful. It's a this event, this webinar per se is a helpful this kind of discourse is crucial for everyone to be educated, everyone to be aware of that this is the reality that we are facing, and what do we do to resolve yung mga ganitong realities that we face. Um, at the heart of our yung sa humanities and social science, sa strand ko, ang pinaka-heart ng aming is collective action. This is not only the interest of only one person, but it should also be the interest of everyone. Katulad ng sabi ng mga speakers as well as yung mga teachers natin, this is an institutionalized na program. It's not only a particular committee or a particular administration lang. It should be synchronized ng buong school to offer its services to its students, especially regarding mental health. As a student, If hindi madali sa atin mag-cope with this kind of setup, paano pa kaya yung mga teachers natin, yung mga professionals, and yung mga mental health professionals who are used to the traditional setup. And as we try to navigate through this kind of setup, let's acknowledge as well that we're not the only ones struggling. And although we do have our own, struggles such as stress, burnout, and your academic pressure and the like, it's good na there are programs such as this one and other similar programs given by by our own institution to continually educate us regarding mental health, kasi I do believe that besides awareness, comprehensive education also comes in hand with sensitivity, because how are we going to be able to become more sensitive and more aware and more critical if we're not educated? It's okay to acknowledge that we're not educated regarding mental health. This is why yung programs like this, professionals, and our guest speakers are here to lend their knowledge, yung expertise nila to us students. So to sum everything up, this I learned a lot, and I think that the interventions that our guest speakers made to their corresponding institution will greatly help yung students, and let us continue to become advocates of mental health, and let us acknowledge that it's okay not to be okay, and that there will always be times that we will not be okay, and we shouldn't invalidate ourselves. That will be all. Thank you.
And thank you so much, Lexi. I have noted here collective action. It is not just for the interest of one, but for everyone. Again, thank you so much, Lexi. Next, our secondary actor for the group of students. He is currently a grade 10 student and the IBED Student Council Junior High School representative. From Siena College of Taytay, let us welcome Jerwin Dominic Ayalte.
Yes. Good morning po. Rinig po ba, miss? Naririnig po ba? Hello po, miss. Yes, okay po. So first
Okay, we
po,
could hear you now.
okay. I would like to greet everyone. Good morning and blessed be God forever to Miss Ascendido, Mr. Hanairo, and Mrs. Calderon, and to all the students who are watching via live. First and foremost, I would like to thank our dear speakers for an informative talk. I have learned and discovered a lot, and I hope that my fellow students and all the viewers have also learned and discovered a lot from your discussion. I was really amazed from on their presentation about the services of guidance counselors, and I would like to share an experience, a short experience that I had. So last school year, we all know that it is also the start of the new normal. So everything was new to us. All of us are adapting to the new normal. Then, since we are all adopting, I personally experience stress, frustrations, insecurities, and all other negativity. And I think that my fellow students also experience those things. And after that, online kamustan, as Miss Ascendido stated on her presentation, with a guidance counselor, it helped me to vent out all of my concerns, and after that online kamustahan, I felt safe and comfortable. Here, what really amazed me is that I do not know the guidance counselor. It was my first time seeing him, but I felt a connection to him and made me really vent out. So I hope my advice, and I hope to all my fellow students who are watching right now, if ever you are given a chance to have an interview or have an online kamustahan, kindly attend. So it will really help you a lot, and you will really make use of the advices they will be giving. Kaya po, I'm really thankful to all the guidance counselors, not only in Siena College of Taytay, but to all the guidance counselors who help us, who comfort us to have a peaceful and healthy mind, especially in this time of pandemic. Now, what I have learned from today's key point speakers, first from Miss Ascendido, if I would summary her presentation, I would summary it with one word as support. Because from the all of the services that she stated, it's like the support to us students, where it supports our mental well-being. And there was this from Mr. Hanaira, the second keynote speaker. He stated that this quote, let us turn our faith into worship, and God will turn your worship into blessing. I really appreciate that quotation, because I would also share another experience a while ago. For the past 3 days, I am very worried about this event, because it's my first time to speak for 10 minutes long without an actual script or what. So I am very worried what will be the outcome. And then this morning I read a Bible verse. So that Bible verse helped me with today. It helped me gain confidence and advice. I also advise it to my fellow students to read the Bible if you ever in a situation of having self doubt, or having in a challenge that something new in life. All right, and then lastly, for Mrs. Calderon, um the good heart. We should have a good heart. If I would summarize her presentation, um, I would summarize it with a one word such as act. Because if we have a good heart, if we start having good heart, we express ourselves to others um in a good way, or we express kindness to others. So I think that such as like Mr. Hanaira said, having self-care, it starts from ourselves. And then when we have a good heart, we express kindness to others. And to summarize the three things that I have learned from the three keynote speakers, from Mrs. Ascendido, I summarize it as a support, where the services that our guidance counselors gave us supports us to strengthen our mental state. And then for Mr. Hanairo, I summarize it as a self care, where it gives us where it applies us the support that the guidance counselor gives us. And lastly, for Mrs. Calderon, the good heart, where we express our kindness to others by having a good heart. That's all po, Miss De La Torre. Thank you po.
Thank you so much, Jerwin. 'Di ba? He had experienced it firsthand, so he knows what it feels. And so it is also good to make good use of the advices that our counselors give to our students. And again, thank you so much, Jerwin. And of course, last but not the least, he is currently a first year operations management student under the CBAA of the Colegio de San Juan de Letran. He is a member of the Letran Peer Facilitators Association or LPFA and a member of the University Social Enterprise Innovations Council of the Philippines or USICP. Ladies and gentlemen, let us welcome Julian Bochwani from Colegio de San Juan de Letran.
Okay,
Welcome,
so
Julian, again
hello
this year.
po, and okay, so I want to thank po first and foremost na Siena College of Taytay, particularly po si Dr. Punay. No, this is already my second time being here at the Philippine Innovation Month. It has been something I look forward to yearly. So let me start it off the bat. No? I'll just re-echo um, basically the theme of everything that the speakers have been saying the whole day, something that has been repeatedly echoed as well by Sir Nairo. And so that is the best type of innovation. Is innovation that comes from within. So first stated by both Sir Yap and of course former Senator um, Ginggona. How do I say this? The world is changing. The world is changing. We all have to adapt to it. And the first thing that comes to adaptation is to first understand, what is it that we're trying to adapt to. Um, for guidance counselors, those are extremely, extremely hard tasks to do, and especially when limited by um, physical interaction. They all use na lang nowadays computer, rely on the internet. It's difficult for them. Um, so placing ourselves in their shoes is not really something we could imagine unless we ourselves become guidance counselors. But with that said, they do find ways to innovate. They do find ways to collaborate with each other, and it doesn't have to only be from the same school. No, if you've noticed from the uh, messages and the talks of the different speakers today, um, they all echo support systems that are designed to be flexible, that are designed to cater the students to their time, to their needs, to give them the necessary support they need to continue their studies, their academics, and to better themselves and in the world today. And I think it's very important that we understand the concept of taking care of ourselves. Although it's something we've been taught at an elementary level, and not even kindergarten, kindergarten level, to take care of ourselves, we underestimate just how important that is in the world we live in today. And harkening back, to the history lessons of what former Senator Ginggona gave earlier. Um, uh, we need to realize that health is important. I think a lot of us got a real wake up call when the pandemic hit. We used to just laugh back then, or siguro never took to real importance the notion of hand washing, or wearing masks, or staying home if sick. Those are stuff that we used to just ignore back then, even in school settings. And I would even go as far as to say that some health professionals don't even take it as important back then. But today, today it's so important. The fact that you could easily infect a person that's relatively far from you, by not even sneezing, not just coming into contact within 6 feet. That just shows how important hygiene has become, and how important practicing these safety practices are. And so I would like to commend our guidance counselors present here today, and to all, to all guidance counselors watching and not watching, who are working at this very moment, serving the students, the communities, their stakeholders in the various academic institutions, in the various corporate institutions. There are also guidance counselors there, and so saludo. And so to end siguro my reaction to this, as I am the last speaker, no, um, take care, take care of ourselves, take care of yourselves, because at the end of the day, if we really wanted to help other people, we really wanted to provide a service to our community, even if it's just moral obligation, we can't do that if us ourselves, are not is not ready to do that. If we are not following what we say, if we don't walk our talk, as what Sir Hanairo has said and what Mr. Hana, Mr. Hana has also mentioned. And so we need to place in ourselves the notion of self-care before we can help others. Because in the world we live in today, if we can't take care of ourselves, taking care of others is hypocritical. We need to understand the world we live in. We need to adapt to that world, create solutions, innovative solutions, and to continue forward, with life. We cannot just stop here. It's not the end. Kaya nga we adapted to new normal. And so the world moves on. And the pandemic, although has claimed millions of lives, it will be a lesson to those who have lived through it, to those who are still adapting to it, that the world is ever changing and we ourselves have to be innovative. Thank you for, and God bless to all of you.
Thank you so much, Julian. Again, we are reminded to take care of ourselves so that we can also take care of others and extend our help, especially to our communities. Truly, here we could see that we do not only learn from educators, from teachers, from professionals, we also learn from our students. And with that, let me just call in once again our three student reactors, Lexi, Jerwin, and Julian, together with our three keynote speakers for today, Miss Juliet, Sir EJ, and Miss Isa. So, to our student reactors, this is your opportunity to ask questions and be enlightened from our keynote speakers. I think we could start with Lexi.
Good morning to our speakers. I do have a question for that is addressed to all of you. I'd like to ask, since I've mentioned earlier that I think most of the students are advocates of mental health, and since that we have this mentality of calling of being outspoken and putting our best foot forward, I'd like to ask, what can we do besides education? What can we do to destigmatize mental health related issues?
Again, Lexi, would you mind repeating your question, please?
Okay. I'd like to ask, besides education, what can we do to destigmatize mental health related issues?
Besides education, what could you do to... Sorry, medyo mahina ata ang internet natin ngayon, no?
Destigmatize po.
Okay,
Mental
to
health related
stigmatize.
issues. Thank you.
Thank you po. I think here we could start with first with Miss Isa, Miss Juliet, and Sir EJ.
Hello, good morning. Um, Nice to meet all our students reactor. Thank you for really listening and of course thinking of a question. No, this is seldom that happen that you'll have a panel of RGCs here to assist you with your concern. Your question, Daniel, is how how are we going to destigmatize? What do you mean by the word destigmatize? By the way.
Parang ano po, tanggalin po yung stigma po surrounding mental health po. Parang something like that po. Kasi besides education po, ano po like yung pwede namin gawin na students para matanggal yung stigma around mental health related issues po. Parang ganun po.
Okay. So, the point is you are basing your knowledge from the education system. Kung ano yung nakukuha nyo from the education system, right? Okay, that is very good, okay? Because for us kasi, the guidance and counseling office kasi is a preventive stage wherein bago pa nyo maisip yung mga mental health issues na yan, that's why we have a lot of activities given to the students. Okay? And if that still concerns you, okay, ikaw ang nasa isip mo yung yun, how are you going to help yourself? Okay, it's a personal issue already, and I think you should also have to be open in talking to a counselor kasi it's more of the cognitive approach na gagawin niya sa'yo. Kasi it's how you think eh. Okay? Ano yung mga stigma na yun. So if you are already listening to all the talks being given in school, you are already participating in any school event, okay? Minsan mahirap manood lang or mag-check lang sa social media, okay? Kasi there's a lot of fake news, fake information already. So I will really recommend that you really seek a professional consultation, okay? Para kung ano yung sinasabi mong stigma na naiisip mo, okay, it may be different from other students kasi kung ano yung stigma na naiisip nila. So, it is also better that you ask a counselor, ano yung specific stigma na naiisip mo? Okay? Then, you talk it out. Bakit mo siya naiisip? And then your counselor will be there to guide you along the process. Bakit mo naiisip yung stigma na yan? Okay? Ang dami kasi natin ngayon naririnig, nababasa, nakikita sa social media. Okay? Minsan naguguluhan na rin tayo kung ano yung totoo at hindi. That's why we are really pushing all of you to really coordinate, communicate, and have time to your guidance counselor. Or if not, okay, meron kayong mga kakilalang mental health professionals, no, para malaman natin which is which. Kasi ang hirap din magsabi ngayon, what is the stigma that you are thinking? And what is the answer to that stigma. Okay? Marami talagang naisip ang lahat ng kabataan ngayon. It's because of the environment that we have. But one thing to clear it out is to, of course, say how you feel and what you think about that specific stigma. And I think you're from Siena College, Quezon City, right? For sure, there are also a lot of mental health professionals there who can really answer your specific stigma in your mind. If we still have a lot of time, maybe we can talk about that. But of course, we are still limited with the time. But of course, I do appreciate your question, and we hope that you will really coordinate to your counselor. Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Aiza, for that. How about Miss Juliet?
Good morning. So, for your question, Daniel, sa akin, no, in my own point of view, kailangan lang naman natin palagi. If we feel something bad, no, about something sa sarili natin or sa kung ano yung nakikita natin or nararamdaman natin sa environment, unang-unang dapat na, dapat magawa, no, para maging healthy ka palagi. Una, you have to really be open, no? Be open. Aside from sabi mo nga kanina, aside from yung learning or something like listening to educational ano tawag ito? Educational mga mga information, sorry. So, ang pinaka key lang naman ito is we really have to be open eh. Kumbaga, kapag open kasi tayo, and we have to be open to the right person, to the person whom we trust, no? Hindi tayo pwedeng basta-basta maging open kung kani-kanino lang. Kasi unang-una, baka mamaya instead of natulungan ka, lalo pa yung concern mo. So you really have to look into somebody na whom you trust and who can really give you the right approach dun sa concern mo. Kasi yun ang pinaka-key doon eh. Kapag halimbawa tayo, no, halimbawa we are suffering from something sa loob lang natin, hindi natin sinabi yan, kahit gaano kaliit yan, no? Lalaki at lalaki yan. So we really have to find ways and means, hanapin natin ang solusyon, tignan natin sino pa pwedeng kausapin natin, no? Kasi yung importante, yung kakausapin mo, matutulungan ka kung ano yung concern mo talaga eh. Hindi yung magdadagdag pa dun sa problema, no? pagkakatiwalaan mo nung nararamdaman mo, nung concerns mo. Kasi kita na pwedeng tao na pwedeng i-approach. Well, siguro, una mong pwedeng tignan sa school, sabi nga ni Miss Aiza kanina, sa guidance counselor mo, kung halimbawa walang available sa bahay dahil halimbawa nag-work si mommy, si daddy, yung siblings mo wala din to attend to your needs. So pwedeng sa guidance counselor mo, yung friends mo, pwede mo rin silang lapitan. Pero sabi nga natin, we really have to be careful dun sa mga ganon. Kasi baka mamaya, ulitin ko ulit, hindi lahat ng pagsasabihan mo maiintindihan kung ano yung pinanggagalingan mo. Okay? Thank
Thank you.
you.
Thank you, Miss Juliet. And last, we have Sir EJ.
Hello po ulit. Julian, Jerwin, and Daniel, kamusta kayo? How are you guys? Congratulations, no? I talaga really admire your courage being here because, it takes really a gut, no? Your confidence, no? Being in this kind of program. Imagine that you're being facing with the crowd, and that one thing alone is, can make a better version of yourself, no? Habi nga natin, every day, we believe in a way to improve ourselves, the better version of ourselves. No? Little by little, slowly but surely. I guess nasabi na nung ating dalawang panel reactors. Pero idadagdag ko lang po siguro, importante kasi ang tanong kasi is paano natin mawawala yung shame? Diba? Yung hiya. Hiya is common for us Filipinos, tama ba? And we need to accept and we need to face the reality in the Philippine setting because the law is very new, not being amended or being approved way back 2017. So it's very new that imagine that we have a very conservative country coming from lots of boomers, no, excuse me for the term, that not that open, no, on the certain things, possibilities, no, and we, being young, nakiyang, no po, are being, have this kind of worry if we share that I have this condition, I have these symptoms, tama ba? Because here's the thing, you're worried about other people's think of you. That's the problem, eh? We tend to worry of other people's that think of you, but always remember, worry about how you deal with yourself. And that is the most important thing. We do not live with the opinion of other people, right? We live in our own opinion based on our values. Okay? Get in touch of who you are. Always remember that. Okay? If you feel something that is correct, tama yung nasabi nila, share it with some people that you trust. Okay? And for the youth that we have here, you have a very good voice to share. Always remember that advocate. Education is the best cure for destigmatization. But if we cannot resort on that, always remember we can advocate on ourselves. No, share your experience, share your stories, tell your stories. Again, you need to limit that to the person that you trusted. Okay, but when you share it, it's always a blessing. People will inspire to you. Always remember, Jerwin, Julian, and Daniel, and all of the youth who are listening right now, that every day you are creating the stories that you have. You are having your own chapters, and the book is not yet written. It's not yet done. The beautiful, wonderful book is yet to be heard and yet to be told. Always remember that. Advocate for mental health. Salamat po.
Thank you so much, Sir Iza. May I ask Jerwin and Julian if you still have questions for our keynote speakers? Meron pa po
Yes.
ba?
May I ask it? Okay. Okay. So siguro the question I have, no, since we've already tackled naman what the what the guidance office of these various institutions offer. No? Siguro I want to point to ask a question more on the future, because we know that face to face is coming. Normalization of siguro in a way, normalization of classes will have to go back to normal one day. And so my question for the guidance counselors that are present here today, how will your good office assist in siguro innovating na rin, ways for the students to adapt, to going back, because as we know, 2 years, maybe even three, is no joke. That's a lot of time that have passed, and there is probably regression that has happened. And so, how can the guidance offices, find innovative ways, or siguro if there are, what are these ways that you can now use, to help our students get back, siguro in shape, for face-to-face learning.
So I think Sir EJ and Miss Isaac would answer that for us. So let's start with Sir EJ first.
Okay. So Julian, I know you're from Letran, and I do hope that you're aware of our services, no? And I guess every day our goal is basically to innovate, okay? And our sole purpose is for the welfare and well-being of our students, okay? But there are certain things that we have seen as the gray areas of that. What is that? There are times that we invite the students, there are times that we want the students to be involved in our mental health programs and initiatives. There are times the students are not that open as well to, being experience that kind of programs that we give them. And I guess that in order to assist our students, it's a paramount, no, for our students to, seek help at the same time, trust the process of the school is giving them, the part of the journey that they have in school. And every day, always rest assured that your counselors are doing their work round the clock. And always remember that we are founded with our value to our students, no, for care for creations, and of course, wholeheartedly caring for you. And that is our profession. That's what we do for a living. That's our job. Okay, and this is the having the full potential of our job, helping our students, seeing our students, no, especially whether if it's face to face, no, we have the face to face program is already in place, and we have this another one, the flexible learning, no, is already in place. It's already there. All we have to do is to seek, enjoy, go on with it, enjoy it, and trust the process that you will be somehow developed with that kind of program. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sir EJ. And last, we have Miss Isa.
Hello, good morning again. And hi, Julian. Thank you again for that question. How are you? Are you also excited to go back to face, Julian?
Oh yes, lalo na sa college. At least
Yeah.
want to start it out face.
It's because I understand your question is how can we help you, right? Prepare in your transition to face, no? It's siguro when you listen to my introduction kanina, no, the guidance, I think all the guidance offices around the Philippines naman is doing their best and in different service provide all the means and ways and information that we can help to assist you. Okay. However, when we started online, we assist you from transitioning to face, going to online. Okay, I think the guidance services will still do the same. We are now naman going to assist you from online, transitioning to face. That's why we have this transition program. Okay, we will not let you face that face to face world again without helping you out. Okay, so aside from this talk that we're telling you that there are people who can help you, for sure, sabi nga ni Sir EJ, there are a lot of services in your school as well. So in our case, we have transition program. We, as part of the PGCA Rizal and SAYAP NCR and whole team po, are trying to help our counselors also be prepared. So, pinaprepare po namin ang first line of defense, which is our counselor, going to the teachers, going to the students. Okay, that is also a process wherein we are already starting na po. So most of the schools are done with their survey kung ano yung readiness ng mga estudyante, ng mga parents na bumalik. So we are now also preparing for the orientations again. We have to orient and reorient the parents, the teachers, and the students of the life that we are going to face again. Though we are coming, we come from that life of face to face, but of course, 2 years really matters. We are still going to help you with that. So, with that question, it's really good to know na talagang nagpre-prepare na po, no? So, for sure, your school is already preparing for it. And just in case you still have this concern in mind that medyo naguguluhan ka, for sure, Sir EJ is there to assist you and help you with that. Okay? And with that, we thank you for asking. At least you are now aware that there are ways and means that the guidance office is already doing na, nag start na, as I guess all of us are already on the process of preparing na rin po ourselves, going back, and in no time, for sure, you will be given an orientation then. And the entire school will be given another orientation for the new, again, a new chapter in all of us in our life as we go back to where we are before. Okay, so again, thank you, Julian.
And thank you so much to our keynote speakers who answered the question. We are really looking forward for the face-to-face classes that we had. We really missed that. How about Jerwin? Do you still have questions for our keynote speakers?
Yes po, Miss De La Torre. My question po is, as students, we also wanted to help, and I have friends and fellow classmates who seek advice and comfort, not only to me, maybe to some of my friends as well. My question is, how can we comfort someone with mental health issues or mental illness effectively? Is there a formula for that?
There's initiative from our students now. Thank you for that, Jerwin. Siguro first we have Miss Aiza and then Sir EJ. Miss Aiza?
Hello again. Thank you, Sherwin. It's really nice to hear that there are students now who are with us. Sabi nga namin, we are limited in numbers, but knowing that there are students who would like to help us is a very good it's a very good feeling na eto na, kasi it means you are moved by our actions, sabi mo nga, no? Yung mga move na ginagawa pala ng mga counselors natin or ng mga teachers, nakaka-move na sa students to be part of us, no? If you are going to ask us at formula about this, ganito pa rin yung sasabihin ko, there is no perfect program or perfect formula for it. Okay, but we have to know our limitations as well, and we have to know our boundaries. Okay, there are some school we have your facilitators, and I guess you also have your facilitators in your school, which we give training, tinitrain natin sila on how to face the world and how to be not like us, because mapapagalitan tayo ng PRC. You can do all the tasks. There are tasks na pwede niyong gawin in your level as a student. Tama po ba, Sir EJ? Kaya kami rin, ingat din kami sa aming mga kilos kasi we are bound with the license na meron kami. Nakakatakot po, hindi po madali na may lisensya ka because you are bound with that. May rules and regulations na dapat sundin, especially in the counseling profession, okay, in the mental health process. We don't give advice. That's primarily not within our work limit. Okay, we are there to help and guide, assist, give options. Okay, so if we will be there, okay, we are doing trainings to the students. Ang dami nang gustong maging advocate. So we are giving training. Okay, ano yung mga pwede niyong gawin? Okay, one is to be there. Just simply being there. Listen. And when you see the need na medyo hindi na po maganda yung pakikinig ko sa kanya, you consult. Okay, you consult the professionals you have in school. Okay, then before maiwan yung taong yun, you make sure also that he's in a safe position. Okay, you make sure that he's already safe. Kapag hindi, the first thing that you can do is to encourage. Hello? Ako ba yung nawala?
Uh, we,
Nawalan ako ng...
we could still hear you,
Hello?
Miss Aiza.
Sorry, nawalan ako ng net. Ang lakas ng
Okay
ulan.
po.
Okay, sorry for that. But at least you can still hear me. Ayan. So, we encourage you po to talk to a professional, especially kapag meron na pong hindi maganda dun sa pagkapinikwento ng kausap mo or sa na-observe mo sa kanya. And, Isa pa po is that encourage her or him na you can only do so much. You can be there to listen, to be with her. But if he or she really wants help, okay, you can help him or her by bringing him to the right person. Yun po ang trabaho ng mga mental health professionals.
And because we're live, medyo naglag po siguro or the Wi-Fi connection of Miss Aiza is not that well. But siguro babalik na siya later on. So with that, let us proceed first to Sir EJ.
Sayang yung sinasabi ni ma'am, no? Ang ganda na nung last part na medyo naputol. Siguro I hope I can share something na connected doon sa sinabi niya. Pero I guess that's the same din naman, no? Share ko lang yung sa amin, we have the Lateral Peer Facilitators Association. Alam ni Julian yan. From the word facilitator, not counselor, we facilitate. All right? Certain things, questions, emotional support, so on and so forth. No po. In part of our program, we train our LPFA. Before you be a member or before you go into your work as the trust of your organization, no, for your peers, no, well-being and welfare, we train you. The training that we give to them is basically coming from the professionals ourselves, with experience ourselves. And we share them for examples. No, we give them training on listening skills, emotional quotient, and first aid, psychological first aid, because those are the basic that you can use. If you want to help, if you have this kind of genuine heart to help, we do not hinder you to do that because your help is really, really matters to the person that you're going to, talk with or listen to. But there are some cautions that I would like you to bear in your mind. That again, of course, we have our limitations, and we don't want that ourselves to be burdened with the emotional baggages of our peers. Always remember that self care, okay, that is her or his responsibility. You're here just to support. At the end of the day, it's his her choice. There are cases that our friends are, seeking advice from us. Am I correct, Julian, Jerwin, and Daniel? But when we give them advice, and voila, we're surprised that we took the different route. And I guess that's the reality of life. When I give them the best advice that we can give, they just do the opposite of it. All right? So again, know your limitations, limit yourself with the negativity of the other people that can share to you, and stick their genuinity to serve and to listen to other people. Go for it. No, listen. But again, training is very important. Okay. So after listening to their stories, all you have to do is to listen and share to them that you are supporting them. But always remember their intention must be based on the values, universal values of righteousness. Okay. Encourage them to seek help. It's okay to seek help. Encourage them. Refer them. In our case, in a school, we have certain referrals, several referrals coming from our LPFA. And one of the clients mentioned that I'm thankful that I have this session. I'm thankful that my fellow peer facilitators encouraged me to see my counselors. The experience of the students in a counseling session in our school is a word of mouth. That I mentioned, you tell your story, you share your stories. Because when they experience the session, there's something that they can share to other people. Again, trust the process, and with that, I guess if you have that kind of preparation for that, go on and help. Of course, with limitations and what do you call that, boundaries. All right. So with that, I can say go for it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sir EJ. We've learned really something. Miss Aiza is already here.
Sorry, internet's so bad.
Oh,
Malakas na yun. And I hope I was able to deliver, Jerwin. If not, I don't know kung saan ako part na putol. But listening to Sir EJ, I think that's the same thing. You just have to acknowledge the help that I think it's around the school already. And of course, the heart that you have for helping is already there. Okay? Kung andun yung heart mo sa pagtulong, everything will be easy. Gaya na sabi ko kanina, there are no perfect or right program or whatever it is. As long as you have a willing heart to help, to listen, and to care, okay? At your level, importante yon, malaking tulong na yon. Okay? So, Jerwin, if you really want to help, I think everybody's there to help you to be of help to others as well. Thank you.
Thank you po.
So again, I would like to thank our student reactors, Lexi, Jerwin, and Julian, and also to our keynote speakers, Miss Juliet, Sir EJ, and Miss Isa. At this point in time, we would like to entertain if there are questions coming from our Facebook Live viewers. Again, for our Facebook Live viewers, you may key in your questions in our chat box so that we could ask them to our keynote speakers. Let me just again remind that later on there will be a Google form link to be pinned in our comment section. Kindly answer that later so that you could also get your e-certificate for this session. Again, for our Facebook Live viewers, you may now key in your questions if you have any for our keynote speakers. So I think all of our students, our Facebook Live viewers are already enlightened with the questions that our educators and students asked a while ago and with the answers, of course, of our keynote speakers. As we come to an end, allow me to thank the following people, schools, and organizations who, in one way or another, made this event possible. Thank you to the BCYF Benita and Catalino Yap Foundation, Mr. Tony Yap, and former Senator Chofisto Gingona for giving us their welcoming remarks, the SCT Digital Marketing Team, San Beda University, Colegio de San Juan de Letran, Manila, Shannock College, Quezon City, Holy Trinity University, and all the Oficiana schools. We would also like to thank Mr. Giancarlo Archewals, Sister Myra Kailan OP, Sister Rosalea Busilak OP, Dr. Maria Lutgardo Punay, the SCT faculty, and of course, our students. Our gratitude also goes to our keynote speakers for today, Mrs. Juliana Ascendido, Mr. Ephraim Hanario, and Mrs. Eloisa Sesumishon, as well to our reactors. We had Miss Jazrin Alfonso, Miss Maria Erica Dacanay, Daniel Mariano, Jerwin Ayalde, and Julian Bochwani. Again, thank you so much, everyone. With all that has been shared and accomplished for today, it is but proper to end with a closing prayer. Let us have Shelo Baldeo, grade 10 student, College of Taytay. Again, students, please be reminded that Google form link will be posted later so that you could also get your e-certificate. Again, let's have our closing prayer to be led by Shelo Baldeo.
In the name of the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit. Amen. Loving Father, as we close this event, we thank you for giving us the time and opportunity to discuss innovations in mental health in the school setting. May you continue to guide us and may we apply all the discussions that we have learned today. And may you bless each and everyone who took this time to gather to make this event successful.
Let the work done today come to fruition and let it all be for your glory. Amen. Saint Dominic de Guzman and Saint Catherine of Siena, pray for us. Venerable Francisca del Espiritu Santo de Fuentes, intercede for us. In the name of the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Thank you, Shelo, for leading our closing prayer for today. Truly, this day has been fruitful for all of us. As I get to summarize or give a little information again, that the best type of innovation is the innovation that comes from within. Through innovation, we also normalize mental health. And let us all remember that self care is important. It's not selfish. Self care is about how you nourish yourself so that you could also give back to others. Innovation starts with ourselves and how we handled ourselves in this time of pandemic. Partnering also with parents and families helps us in helping also our students. We invite you again tomorrow for our day two of our program with the topic the sixth Game Changers Conference Innovation on Students' Mental Health. We will start again at 9 in the morning, so please stay tuned here in the official Facebook page of Siena College of Taytay. Again, reminder Google form link for the evaluation is to be pinned later in our FB Live chat box. Kindly accomplish so that you could also have your e certificate. Again, our topic for today is Innovation Roundtable Innovations on Mental Health in School Setting. Again, I am Ms. Eliza Rochelle B. De La Torre, IBED faculty of Siena College of Taytay, saying, ask your family members and your friends how are they today, and you'll see you will make a difference. Thank you, and blessed be God forever.
Hail, beloved Siena, glory be to Siena, nest of our youth, beauty, love, and truth. Hail, beloved college, source of priceless knowledge, hearts of fire and truth beat with love for you. Here's a school forever new, and it stands with sober view. Here we find the truth we seek, here the spirit bold yet meek. Siena's like a blooming rose, like a beauty in repose, like a lily fiery and red, God is gently reared and bred. Here's a school forever new, and it stands with sober view. Here we find the truth we seek, here the spirit bold yet meek. Jealous like a blooming rose, like a beauty in repose, like a lily fiery and red, God is gently